Hello and welcome to the Insights and Motivation YouTube podcast. Yes, this is an AI-generated content, but remember, there was a human at the beginning of it, creating and curating this material with care and purpose. I request you, dear listener, to step aside from any bias and listen to the message itself. Take the message, not the messenger. That is the key. The same is true for the rest of the playlists and podcasts on this channel, each designed to inspire thought, dialogue, and transformation. Now let me begin the podcast. Customs, traditions, and rituals. Culture-preserving applications of democratic principles. Customs are the everyday grammar of culture. Greetings, hospitality, food etiquette, attire, life cycle rites, birth initiation, marriage, death, and seasonal community festivals that carry historical memory. When we apply democratic principles here, we honor continuity while opening equitable participation, never suppressing or substituting cultures, only strengthening them. 1. Equality and inclusivity in schools. Why customs matter. Exclusion hides in small norms. Who gets greeted first, who serves, eats last, whose taboos are mocked, whose dress is called unprofessional. Cultural lenses, examples. Hierarchy-coded etiquette, bowing orders, Japan, seating ranks, modulus in the Gulf, head of table, traditions, Europe. Touch norms, namaste, waihangi versus handshake, hug. Consent varies by culture and gender. Food rules, halal, kosher, veg, fasting months, utensil versus hand-eating norms. Life cycle rites, bar bat mitzvah, upanayana, quinceañera, naming outdooring, baptism, pohiri, and hongi. Deaf culture, visual applause, sightlines, and lighting are not extras. They're essential etiquette. Practical cultivation, etiquette equity. Create a greeting menu poster, hand on heart, namaste, bow, wave, handshake, and let students choose. Teach consent first touch. Table parity, kitchen of cultures days with rotating cuisines, label ingredients for taboos/allergies. Dress respect, approve cultural attire, hijab, turban, kimono, yukata days, sari, veshti, kente within safety guidelines. Rights awareness, short explainers before school-wide observances, what it means, who opts in out, and respectful behavior. Data, track participation by group in festival roles, hosting, performing, organizing, and close gaps. 2. Freedom and rights. Why customs matter. Students have the right to express identity through custom, and the right to decline participation without stigma. Cultural lenses, coercive participation in majority customs, pressure to perform exotic rituals for entertainment, photo, video of sacred acts without consent. Practical cultivation, opt-in policy, all cultural activities are invitation, not obligation, provide dignified alternatives. Informed consent, clear rules on recording, sacred acts require explicit permission. Creative freedom, projects may frame customs from faith, secular, or comparative lenses. Symbol rights, wear culturally significant items unless safety risks exist, then find safe equivalents. Rule of law and accountability. Why customs matter. Fairness requires clarity, which practices are allowed, where, when, and how in plain language. Cultural lenses. Safety versus symbolism, e.g. ceremonial objects, candles, incense, blades, and kirpan. Food safety during communal cooking. Practical cultivation. Plain language guidelines for attire, objects, and spaces, consistent with local law and safety. Due process, channel to report cultural disrespect with appeal forms and restorative steps. Staff parity, teachers follow the same standards. No ridicule, no favoritism. Audits, quarterly hygiene safety checks for festival activities. Now 4, participation and representation. Why customs matter. If one group curates all events, representation becomes tokenistic. Cultural lenses, majoritarian festival capture, minority customs framed as optional, diaspora hybrids needing space, e.g. Desi Latinx fusions. Practical cultivation, festival council with reserved seats for cultural groups, rotate chairing. Co-curation, pair groups to co-host events, e.g. Maori, Pacifica, Afro-Caribbean, Latin. Calendaring, publish a multi-year festival parity plan so visibility is predictable and fair. Pathways, train student cultural stewards, protocol, logistics, interpretation. Transparency and truthfulness. Why customs matter. Clarity prevents rumors about favoritism or appropriation. Cultural lenses. Myth versus history tensions, stereotypes in textbook depictions, budgets that privilege some festivals. Practical cultivation. Open calendar and budget. What's celebrated, why and how funds are distributed. Origin notes. 200-word brief for each custom, origins, variations, respectful do's, don'ts. Appropriation versus appreciation guide. Credit, context, consent, compensation for culture bearers. Media literacy. Compare how external media portrays a custom versus community narratives. 6. Deliberation and dialogue. Why customs matter. Customs carry identity. Dialogue must be empathetic, not adversarial. Cultural lenses, honor shame cultures, indirect disagreement norms, oral storytelling traditions over debate. Practical cultivation, story circles before performance, what this ritual means to my family. Protocol primers, teach greetings, gift giving, host, guest roles across cultures. Sentence frames, in our custom, I'm curious how yours handles. Reflective pauses and interpretation support for multilingual conversations. 7. Checks, balances, and power sharing. Why customs matter. Customs can encode power, gender, age, caste, class. Democracy requires rebalancing without erasing tradition. Cultural lenses, seating serving hierarchies, who speaks first, gendered roles in ceremony. Practical cultivation, role rotation. Servers, MCs, lead dancers rotate across groups and genders. Peer review, cross-group checklists for fairness in scripts, order of appearance, and stage time. Feedback loops, termly climate surveys on cultural respect, publish actions taken. Power maps, visualize who gets the mic, the front row, the primetime slots. 8. Civic education and awareness. Why customs matter. Rituals teach civic virtues. Stewardship, reciprocity, remembrance. Cultural lenses. Charity and hospitality codes. Seva, zakat, dana, church tithes, community feasts. Memorial, remembrance days. Practical cultivation. Participatory budgeting for festivals. Students allocate funds with clear criteria. Service tie-ins. Link customs to civic projects, tree planting on harvest festivals, food drives and fasting months. Ritual literacy module. Students document one custom with ethical interviewing and consent. Hashtag 9. Social justice and equity. Why customs matter. Some practices were suppressed by colonization or stigmatized. Others may marginalize within communities. Cultural lenses. Endangered arts, rituals, caste class exclusions, disability access. Trauma histories linked to certain rights. Practical cultivation, revival grants for endangered crafts, ritual music led by community experts. Accessibility redesign, quiet rooms, scent-free alternatives, captioning, ramps, tactile pathways. Consent and dignity, no forced touching, feeding, face painting, alternatives provided. Curriculum audit to remove caricatures, exoticization. Tomorrow morning micro-practices, quick wins you can use. Start with a ritual minute. One learner shares a greeting, proverb, or hosting tip. Post a greeting menu and let students choose. Teach no-touch options. Rotate host guest roles in class and reflect on how it felt. Create a food etiquette whiteboard when snacks are shared. Who serves first? Taboos cleanup. Add a cultural artifact table with labeled consented items and QR audio stories. Minimal policy kit, plain language at 1 to 2 pages each. 1. Consent first cultural participation policy, opt-in, recording rules. 2. Festival and calendar parity policy, rotation, budgeting transparency. 3. Dress and adornment policy, safety plus cultural respect. 4. Cultural IP and safeguarding guidelines, credit, compensation, storage of recordings. 5. Accessibility and wellness protocol, sensory, dietary, mobility, trauma aware. Assessment and accountability, simple metrics, percent of cultural groups leading at least one event term. Speaking stage time parity across groups and genders. Opt-in satisfaction and zero coercion score survey of revived customs art forms showcased. Incident rate of cultural disrespect and resolution time. Culture-specific examples, adapt, don't copy. India, everyday namaste or hand on heart with consent. Rangoli, kolam as math art. Prasad Anadana with allergen labels. Diya lighting with fire safety. Holi as opt-in color zones plus sensitive skin areas. Life cycle notes referencing samskaras, e.g. namakarana naming, vivaha vows, presented as heritage knowledge rather than mandates. Inclusive ways to learn Saptapadi symbolism, mutual vows of responsibility. Japan, bowing etiquette by context, omotenashi, thoughtful hospitality, role plays, tea ceremony mindfulness in short secular modules. Middle East, Gulf Levant, majlis seating and coffee tea serving protocols, Ramadan iftar with quiet space for non-participants. West Africa, outdooring naming ceremonies, libation with school-appropriate substitutions, griot storytelling. Latin America, Dia de los Muertos remembrance tables with consent, quinceañera values mapped to service projects. Aotearoa New Zealand, Maori, Pohiri welcome sequence, Hongi explained with opt-in. China, East Asia, Lunar New Year, red envelope etiquette, symbolic envelopes, mid-autumn mooncake sharing with allergen notes. Ethiopia, Eritrea, coffee ceremony as patience reciprocity lesson. Jewish communities, Shabbat candle lighting demonstration, battery candles. Havdalah sense sound as sensory learning. Deaf culture, visual doorbell for events, line of sight seating, visual applause. Did this podcast resonate with you? Are you an educator or a higher authority with the ability to influence educational policy and reform? If so, I encourage you to share this podcast as widely as possible within your connections, and do share and subscribe to this channel. This channel has lots of playlists and educational psychological content with a focus on how to improve all systems of education, corporate culture, and many such topics. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.